Glycol fraud leads to deadly consequences. Suspected fraud in the supply chains of medicine manufacturers has resulted in hundreds of deaths that are both tragic and preventable. We first heard about a food safety problem that was possibly linked to children's medicine in September 2022. At the time, 28 children had died in Ghana, and because they suffered from kidney failure, authorities thought it was perhaps due to an outbreak of pathogenic E. coli with a link to paracetamol medications. In October, it was confirmed that children's cough syrups were the cause of the illnesses. Investigators suspected the syrups were contaminated with diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol. My food fraud spidey senses began to tingle, and in issue 60's Food Fraud News, I speculated that the contaminants could be present due to fraudulent adulteration of glycerin, an ingredient in oral liquid medicines. Dangerous glycols can reportedly be added to glycerin to bulk it out and save money. More deaths followed, and in issue 73's Food Fraud News, we reported that authorities were warning about contamination of the food ingredients propylene glycol, polyethylene glycol, sorbitol, and or glycerin glycerol with ethylene glycol and diethylene glycol. Again, I speculated this contamination could be the result of fraudulent activities. This is one of those times where it's not good to have a hunch confirmed. Now, unfortunately, it seems my hunch was correct. Food or ingredient fraud could be the cause of all the poisonings. Indonesian police have said they uncovered fraudulent marketing of propylene glycol. The police said the fraud-affected products used in medicines might have caused the deaths of more than 200 children in Indonesia. Senior police told reporters that a chemical company had misrepresented industrial-grade ethylene glycol and diethylene glycol as pharmaceutical-grade propylene glycol. They also used the company name and branding of a well-known pharmaceutical supplier for the products, presumably without its authorization. The perpetrators then allegedly supplied the fraudulent Dow Chemical Thailand pharmaceutical-grade propylene glycol to local medicine manufacturers via a distributor. Ethylene glycol and diethylene glycol are both highly toxic chemicals used in antifreeze, brake fluid, and cooling systems. Propylene glycol is entirely different in terms of its toxicity. It is safe to ingest, it's an approved food additive, and it's used as a humectant, emulsifier, and flavour carrier in foods. In medicines like cough syrups, propylene glycol is used as a carrier or solvent for active ingredients due to its ability to dissolve both water-soluble and oil-soluble compounds. The World Health Organization said that 300 deaths have been linked to cough syrups in Gambia, Uzbekistan, and Indonesia. They issued a medical product alert for 8 Indonesian products in November. In their alert, the World Health Organization said the products contained unacceptable amounts of either ethylene glycol or diethylene glycol as contaminants. They also warned that the medicines, which were all syrups and all contained paracetamol, may also have been sold in other countries through either authorized or informal channels. Investigations are ongoing, and we don't yet know for sure if the Gambia and Uzbekistan deaths are directly linked to the activities of the Indonesian chemical company or not. Is this perhaps a food defence crime? Because of the high death toll, someone asked me if this could perhaps be an intentional contamination event, an issue of food defence rather than food fraud. Reminder: food defence crimes are perpetrated to cause deliberate harm to consumers or brands, and the perpetrators want their crimes to be discovered to frighten people or so they can extort money from companies. Food fraud crimes, on the other hand, are motivated by financial gain, and the perpetrators do not want their crimes discovered so they can continue to make money. The propylene glycol contamination does not bear the hallmarks of a food defence incident. Although the outcome was terribly harmful, I don't think the perpetrators intended such harm. I suspect the person who decided to use the ethylene diethylene glycol instead of propylene glycol was unaware of the consequences. It's easy to get the chemical names confused, and for a non-chemist, it's hard to believe that one of those chemicals is very toxic, while the other is an approved food ingredient, because the names sound almost the same. I think the perpetrators were greedy and just wanted to make a profit without anyone noticing. The harm they caused led them to be caught, and for that reason they are almost certainly regretting it. Takeaways. Fraud in supply chains can lead to unexpected and perhaps unintended deadly consequences. Who would imagine that a shipment marketed as Dow pharmaceutical grade polypropylene glycol could instead turn out to be a highly toxic non-pharmaceutical chemical packaged without the authorization of the Dow company? Procurement processes, background checking of suppliers, and supplier approvals programs are designed to prevent the inadvertent purchase of counterfeit and adulterated products and ingredients. If your company uses propylene glycol, glycerin, sorbitol, or related ingredients, this chemical adulteration hazard is a new food safety and food fraud hazard to add to your programs. The sources, as always, can be found in the email.